Hey everyone, I'm Richard. This is Grey Wizard Gaming, and today I am teaching you how to play Roll for the Galaxy. Now, if you don't know this game, it's fine. This is gonna be real quick. It's just a high-level summary. It should give you an idea whether or not this is a game that you'd like to play. I love this game, so I'm really hoping that you'll stick with it through this journey with me and see if this is something that'll appeal to you as well. Now, this game is set in the Race for the Galaxy franchise from Rio Grande Games. They make a bunch of different Race for the Galaxy products. They all live in this Isaac Asimov style future science world with lots of different species and uplift races and terminology that if you like sci-fi, you're really gonna get the art and the words that you see. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing you do is you set up your play area. So everybody's gonna get a play mat. Everybody's gonna get a little meeple. You're gonna put that on the number 1 for number 1 money. You're gonna get a phase selector. You're gonna put that down. You're going to get yourself a cup. And you're going to get a player screen. The player screens are super cool. On the back are these basically the rules for the game, like almost all the rules that you need to know right here. Everybody has one, so that's super cool. You're going to give yourself a random faction, and you're going to give yourself a random homeworld. So that's super cool. If you like asymmetric gameplay, well, it's right here. We usually use a home rule or a house rule that allows you to choose 2 of each and pick the ones you like, because the faction and homeworld we usually kind of define whether or not you're trying to win by trading, whether you're trying to win by building technologies, whether you're trying to win by military dice or whatever. You're then going to give your civilization its citizenry. So you're going to start with 3 in your cup. Those are your workers. And then your citizens, you're just going to put out 2. And then you're going to look at your faction and your world and see what rules they have. So I have an ability. You may reassign 1 or 2 dice to become explorers. I'll explain that in a moment. Gain a novelty good on this world at the start of the game. Okay, great. Boom. Blue die on the world. And gain a military red die into your citizenry at the start of the game. Not in my cup, but in my citizenry. Great, okay. Being in your cup is better, just so you know. You'll get it. All right. So you're going to pull 12 victory points into a pile per player. So I'm setting it for 2 players. That means I have 24 victory points in the middle. The game ends when you've either built 12 tiles, what they call a tableau, or when you have used up all of the victory points in the victory point pool. Now, there's a big pile of victory points. So if you run out of the victory points in the pool, you can continue to pull victory points from the main pool, but that is just overflow so that everybody can get what they earned. But the game is effectively over at that point, or is going to end shortly. So there you go. Okay, give everybody 2 random tiles from the bag. And, oops, 1 too many, put 1 back. And you're going to look at these and you're going to have to choose. They're both 2-sided. One side is technologies, one side is worlds. You're going to want to assign 1 to the construction area for worlds and 1 to the construction area for developments. So my personal strategy is to put the cheapest of each out, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to have some forward momentum by completing projects quickly. That's how I play. You can also go for the more powerful, more expensive ones. That's up to you. Okay, once you have all of this set up, you're ready to go. So you're gonna roll this. You're going to put this here. You're going to keep it a secret. You're going to roll, and then what you want to do, we're friends here, so I'll let you see what's going on. You're going to want to move the dice in front of what you actually rolled. And then you're going to have some decisions. For me, I have a special power. I can move dice to become explorers. It's not relevant here. I rolled to explore. Then you're going to see, like, well, is there anything else? No, there's not. Is there any technologies that say they're activated right now? No. Okay, I really want to build this shipping infinity. If I had rolled a lot of settled symbols, maybe I would have wanted to, colonize this planet, but I don't. I rolled a develop. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to choose which of these phases is activated, and I'm going to activate develop. So it doesn't matter the color or symbol. You just move it over there, and now I know when I reveal that I am going to be activating the develop phase for sure. Now, what about this explore symbol die that's sitting out here? Well, I'm going to hope that the other player needs to explore. They need money. Oh, yeah. They need money. They will want to explore, I hope. Let's see. So at that point, you do the big reveal. Boom. And I need to stop messing with their money. So this, well, first of all, you look at everybody who's playing their phase strips, and I see, did anybody activate explore? No. Sad for me. I activated develop. Great. It gets activated. Settle. They activated settle. Okay. Nobody activated produce. Nobody activated ship. You can only activate one phase each, and sometimes you'll both activate the same phase. That's unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. So we're looking here, and well, okay, I didn't have any dice for explore, so it goes back in the cup. I can try again next round. Develop. All right, everybody who has a die can put out their workers onto the develop. If they hit the number, in this case 2, then they can put the technology out, the development out, and these go back into the citizenry. So they can be recruited to be workers in the future if I can pay for them. All right, so now I have a new power. I can now reassign one worker to become a shipper during the assign phase, but that's not relevant to right now. Okay, for her, she had a explorer that goes back in the cup. She had a develop. She can put this out. She didn't activate develop, but she can put it out because I activated develop. Now, colonize phase. Now, these phases are all played simultaneously. She puts her 3 out, and that puts the trading world into her tableau. These 3 go back. It says she gets a purple die into her citizenry when she puts this world out. Also, you're going to want to look through, and it looks like she has a technology for colonize. And what it says is, it says that when she settles, if she used a red and green die to settle, and it was successfully completed, then she gets +2 money. So actually, she goes from 1 money to 3 money. That is huge. All right, so now we go through, and everybody's done. Nobody has any more active phases. So it is now the end of the round. At this point, it's the manage empire phase. So what each person's going to want to do is they're going to want to spend money to recruit. So I'm going to recruit this military die. Costs 1 per die. She has 3. She's incredible. So she's going to get a red, a green, and a purple. and put those in her cup. Then we're going to recall. So for example, I've got this blue good on this blue world. I may want to recall because I only have 2 dice. So that's not a lot of dice. And I may say, you know what, the future may involve me getting goods, but right now I need dice to roll. I'm really doing poor here. That's fine. So after you've spent all your money recruiting and recalling, you just move this back from 0 to 1, 0 to 1. You always start each round with 1, but you kind of hope you get more than that. Then you check to, well, you reset these. So no phases are going to be active next round by default. And you check, is it game end? Does anybody have 12 tiles in their tableau? No. Does anybody, or is the victory point pool empty? No. Okay, so the game continues. You roll the dice, you secretly assign things, and that's how you play the game. Now, I did like kind of skim over the explore phase. Explore phase is super easy. Each die, you can either spend it, right? You have a bunch of dice. You can either put those back into the citizenry for 2 money, or you can put them back in the citizenry to draw more dice, more tiles out of the bag. The big thing here is that when you pull them out of the bag, you have to choose, is it a world or is it a development? If it's a world, you're going to put it at the bottom of your construction tile. If it's a development, either way, it goes to the bottom. If you're out, that's effectively meaning it's coming up to the top. So you're going to choose somewhat based off of what your existing pile is. Now there's another option. What if you didn't like something you already had? Maybe it doesn't fit your strategy anymore. Maybe you got it in the beginning of the game and you hate it. If that's the case, you can put a die back, take off one of these, set it aside. You're going to put it back in the bag in a moment. You're going to pull out 1 for the worker and 1 because you're returning a tile. And then, wow, alien sentinels, I'm going to put that out. And then I'm going to put, because you're putting these out at the same time, you get to choose the order. I'm going to choose artist colony, which is worth, it only costs 1 to settle, and then alien sentinels for 6. I could have done it the reverse. I could have put them underneath the development. That's up to you. Now, I didn't show produce. Produce is, let's say that during the reveal phase, I had a good, let's say that I rolled a star. A star can be anything, by the way, but it's a wild card. But let's say I put that in produce. It'd be kind of silly, just for the rest of the demo. I'll put this under ship, and let's say assume that she activated ship. So in the produce phase, right? This would have been activated. This would have been activated, and then the produce phase, I put that there, and then you can put these anywhere. By the way, let's say actually let's put that there. We'll put the blue good on the green world, and I'll show you why in a moment. You can put them anywhere. Those are just goods. They sit there, they don't do anything until the shipping phase. In the ship phase, you take each of your workers. Now you can only have 1 of these goods here, by the way. You take each of these shippers and you say, hey, I want to ship a good. So boom, you grab a good and a shipper, what they call a shipper. So, and you say, okay, do I want to consume or trade? If I trade, it is worth a certain amount on the color of the world, not the color of the die. So this world is green, and if I look at the back of their little chart, their goods are worth 5, okay? That's a lot of money, and I was broke. So I probably wouldn't want to do that. Boom, moves me up to 6. Now I'm gonna have all my dice next turn. So that is huge. Alternatively, if I had put this blue good on this blue world, I would have only gained 3 money for trade. So instead I might want to consume. So consume, you get 1 victory point Plus, you get 1 victory point for each die that matches the world. So this is a blue die that matches a blue world, so that would be an additional victory point. If the shipper was also blue, or if it was blue and the good wasn't blue, then it would be worth an extra victory point, right? So you can get between 1 and 3 victory points per, and again, the game ends when there's no more victory points. So it can be a strategy to just constantly produce a bunch of goods and then consume a bunch of goods. And meanwhile, the other people are getting their tableau. Now, once you run out of, let's say that you got a bunch of victory points, right? So maybe, she has 10, and then maybe you have the rest, and you end the game. But meanwhile, the other person had put out a bunch of things. So you trigger the end of the game. Does that mean you won? Maybe, maybe not. So what you do is you add the victory points. 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 14 is 25 victory points. Now I look at over for her, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 15, plus 10 is 25 points. So actually she won by 1 victory point. So if, number one, you gotta choose. You gotta choose when you're gonna end the game. You might not want to get the last victory point, even if you could. If it means you're gonna lose, what's the point? Also, if you had tied, you look how many dice are in the cup. Now I have 1 die in the cup right now, and she has 4 dice in the cup, so she would have won there. You also look at the money, so that's also included for breaking a tie. So if I had had 6 money, because I sold the green good, and that was 1 die, so that's 7, and then she had 4 plus the 1 victory point, that would have been 5. So then I would have won the tie. That's the kind of like subtle things that go back and forth. So that's like a quick, fast, like once over of the game. This game is easy and deep. A lot of people get distracted because the symbols are, I guess, the symbols are diverse and they can be confusing at first. However, I think all of our players got it. 1 game and they were good. They understood. People miss things like being able to reassign. They miss things like, oh, I was supposed to get 2 money. There is a lot that you kind of have to like review, but their iconography is very sensible. And I think it's smartly used in such a way that when you learn what they really mean, you can take quick glances to understand what you're supposed to do. There's 2 expansions for this game at this point, but the second expansion is actually like 3 expansions in one. I haven't played the 3 one. I love the second one. So I'm really excited to get into the 3rd one, and that's where this video comes from, because I was like, I can't really talk about that one that I'm super excited about until I give you guys some background. So with that, I'd love to hear from fellow people who love the Race for the Galaxy franchise. I have not tried the board game, just the card game and the dice game. So I'd love to know about that and whether or not I should check it out. And with that, I'd like it if you click like, subscribe, and till next time. Bye, guys.
I can't see your face. Tell me, where did you go? Was it something I did, something I said that made it all fall down? Baby, I need to know, 'cause I'm losing my faith. And the more I give, the less I get.